Sounds so good, don't you agree? You listen to C Flips, He Flips with your host, Curtis R. Monday, riding solo. My co-host, my partner in crime, EJ Williams, has a speaking engagement, blessing the community with a vast knowledge and entrepreneurship and real estate. So we're going to hold it down for you today, EJ. The show is called C Flips, He Flips. Call me at 312-374-8130. That's 312-374-8130, so you can get all your real estate related questions answered. On social media, I see you. You're still following on Facebook Live. Hey, Marie Morris, I know that name. Hey, that's my sister. I don't think my sister in all my years of radio has ever listened to me on the air or did anything. God bless Facebook. My sister, my big sister, love you. Also, we got Barbara Jean, long time supporter, back in the dollars and cents days. Client of mine also. I thank you, Miss Barbara. How you doing? And we got Latasha Muhammad. Thank you again for your love and support. Follow me on social media. Go out to www.curtismonday.com, www.curtisrmonday.com if you want to learn more about me. You want to follow me on Instagram, it's C Monday, and also on Facebook, Curtis R. Monday. Mark Polo, what's going on, brother? And also Lashana White, I see you on Facebook Live. Call me live in the studio, 312-374-8130. The show is called C Flips, He Flips. The show has three primary goals. One, we want to create an inspirational blueprint for those interested in real estate. When EJ and I sat and started talking about what we wanted to do with the show, we wanted to be able to create something that was going to give individuals who aspire to be in real estate or to become better at their craft a way to do it. Not saying that we have all the answers, because I don't believe anybody has all the answers in real estate. It's too vast. It's too many different nuances associated with it. But it's always the typical blueprint to help let people know how to approach this thing. And if we can give you like a playbook, if you will, to get you started or to help make you better, it can be a situation where you can take that and add your own little twist to it and grow and things of that nature. So that was one of the things we said we wanted to do. Second goal, create generational wealth for our community. This is a topic that doesn't go away. When my guest, Corey Singleton, gets on the air with us, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But this whole creating generational wealth is a big deal. It's just not this. I think people think it's like a hot take. I think people really don't understand the how important it really is when we talk about building generational wealth. It means that you accumulate through assets enough that it just doesn't die out with your generation, with your existence, that you pass it on to those after you, your children. And if you're doing it right, to your children's children's children. That's critical. I don't even have the words to clearly articulate how important that is, because so many of us start off at a deficit. What will life be? Just stop and think about this for a second. What would your life be like if, when you came into knowledge of self, when you came into a situation where you were aware of what it is you were actually doing, right? You were mature enough and responsible enough to make sound business decisions. What would your life be like if you started with $250,000 you can touch in the bank? Shani, family, what would that look like, Shani? Nicole, Barbara Jean, what would that look like? Corey, what would that look like if you started out with $250,000 in the bank and you knew you were responsible enough to be able to do something with that? What would your life be like? Now, trouble money can't, cover or solve everything, but it'd be a good start. And so when we start talking about building or creating generational wealth, real estate's not the only thing. It's one of many different things you can do, but it's the one thing that we can touch and do when we understand it. And so that was one of our other goals. Thirdly, be a source of education, provide resources. We want to teach you how to fish. When we did the Urban Business Roundtable, we had Robbie Smith, owner of the Pest Solutions, I think RB Pest Solutions. And she talked about how she gives solutions to her clients to help them avoid getting into long-term contracts. If you call Orkin wants you to sign up and get them $45 a month every month for 12, 24 months, right? I don't got roaches that bad in my joke. I'm out of slumlord. Joke. But we don't look. I don't need you to come out every single month. I need you to kind of come out, rectify the problem, and then until we meet again. And so Robbie teaches you how to come up with solutions to mitigate against reoccurring themes or reoccurring problems when it comes to pest control. So me, EJ, our preferred partners, preferred referral partners, Corey Singleton, Nina Gonzalez, we want to help educate you and provide you resources so you can teach you how to fish. Nicole Banks says, yes, very important. Some people don't even know where to start to do that for their kids and grandchildren. Let's see, got more. And good stuff. I appreciate you. You're so right. You're really right. Barbara Jean says, I probably invest in housing for the homeless. Hey, one thing is when you got a little extra bread, right, and you're not rushed or hurried to go to work and punch the 9 to 5, and nothing's wrong with having traditional 9 to 5 or a corporate job. There's nothing wrong with that. But one definition of economic or financial freedom is when you're in real estate, when your passive income can exceed those of your monthly expenses. If you got 4 times the amount of your passive income coming in, and that exceeds the amount of your monthly expenses, you've achieved some level of financial freedom. And so when you got the financial freedom like that, you can do things like buy properties for homeless. I believe God blesses things like that, Corey. I believe that when you do stuff like that and you use your wealth to give back, I think God blesses you to do things like that. Latasha Muhammad says, I would invest in rental properties for my children. It's one of the things I did. Right? We talked about this. You hear me talking about Chance Jordan, a.k.a. Chance the Baby. One of the first things I did, we bought a 2-flat. I told Big Cousin, he here with me right now. I told Troy Howard, TF Studios, what I did for Chance. We bought a 2-flat, and we're going to renovate it. We're going to rent it out, and we're going to do 2 things. One, we're going to take the monthly rents, and we're going to use that monthly rental income to go towards college saving plan. That's how we're going to fund this 529 plan, right? College education, we'll talk about how higher education is right now and how it impacts our home ownership ability. But we're going to use that money to to fund his 529 plan. And then furthermore, we bought the property distressed, so at a steep discount, right? And so therefore, once we put in the blood, sweat, and tears to bring it back to life, it has what's called an ARV, and Corey can talk about that when we get on the air. This after repair value of this property is more like $200K. We bought it for $30. When we put the blood, sweat, and tears, about $200K. It probably will have about, when we finish, $50,000 to $60,000 in equity. So we have any kind of shortage in terms of its college education costs, we'll refinance the property, pull some of the equity out, and use as a down payment. So that's what we're going to do. So good idea, Latasha. Robin Ivy, I see you on social media. Thank you for following me. So that's the goal of the show. That's what EJ and I decided we wanted to do. And with She Flips, He Flips, that's what Corey and Nina decided they wanted to be a part of, and we thank them for their support. This show is up for first-time home buyers. It's for real estate investors. It's for people interested in real estate overall. It's for people, even if you don't have an interest in real estate, but you want to make a difference in your community, right? This show is for you. It's a way to help that. It's a way to do that. So I want to thank all of you for your support so far. Countless positive comments. I got a call from a guy named Mr. Joseph. He talked about how he didn't have a clue on how to approach this thing with real estate and listen to the show. And he said that the information that we're talking about, that Corey will share, that EJ and I share each and every single week, that some organizations charge you hundreds of thousands of dollars for this education, this money. I mean, this education or this kind of knowledge. And it's true. I'm not talking how that show says, Big Cousin. I'm not just the haircut club president. I'm also an owner. Same thing. I legitimately paid several thousands of dollars for my real estate education. First, I got the priceless education of Hard Knocks, right? I got in there and tried to do it by myself. And thank God I didn't take too many lumps, right? Just a little intuition, God's grace, and figure some things out. When I became better, and when I say a little bit more dangerous, is when I got some formal education to combine with my technician experience, right? And so I really did pay thousands. I'm not just pulling your wig. I really did pay thousands of dollars to help me understand about how to structure my real estate portfolio, how to create an active side of my portfolio, how to create a passive side, how LLCs play into effect, how to vet contractors, 7 critical documents when I'm rehabbing, permits, just every different for sale by owner. What does that mean? For every different nuance, I just immerse myself, and it's a never-ending process. And so I want to encourage you guys to continue to go ahead and do things like that. I want to say, what's going on, Kenya? 444 family, I see you out on the East Coast of Maryland doing really good. Wooly Tyler, I see you watching. Audrey Bledsoe, I see you guys are all tuning in right now on social media. I appreciate you. We just got our Black Friday, right? This whole Black Friday thing. I just, truth be told, I never really participated in Black Friday before. I never did it. Like, I'm too full from eating, man. That's the time to watch food. I told Corey, it's a time to find. He asked me, what did I do on Thanksgiving? I said, I taught Chance the baby what men do. We eat and we watch football. And we fall asleep, and then we repeat, right? Repeat. You eat, you watch more football, and you fall. That's what I did, right? But the Black Friday thing, I've never really been in. It's very interesting about this Black Friday thing. The concept actually, even though I never participated, the concept makes sense to me from an investing point of view. Like, the whole concept of investing is to try to buy something that has a full value for half price. To say it another way, when you invest in it, I don't care if it's a mutual fund or a stock, or even property, you're trying to buy something that's worth $1, right, for 50 cents. That makes perfect sense to me, right? So I understand what the craze is with Black Friday. Buy a TV that's really worth $500 and get it for $100. That makes perfect sense. Where you lose me, though, and it becomes problematic for me when it becomes what I call groupthink. Groupthink, by definition, means it's the practice of thinking or making decisions as a group in a way that discourages creativity, or this last one, individual responsibility. Right? So the whole Black Friday thing loses me when it discourages individual responsibility. And although I can co-sign with the notion of buying that TV that's worth $500 for, $100, that doesn't go, or that philosophy doesn't make sense in other important areas. Like when you find somebody or an entity that is giving valuable information, that has information that can change your life, pay for it, right? Stop trying to get, it's prevalent in our community. We're always trying to get something for free. Big Cousin is a Picasso with this videography stuff, man. Look, when he came out the womb, he came out crying with a camera in his hand. I'm convinced if I pulled up footage to when he was born, the boy got a camera in his hand, right? Corey Singleton, he understand. Look, he don't know much about football like in the Dallas Cowboys, man. But that man, the money man, he knows about this money and this finance. He knows this thing. Stop trying to cheapen the value of these resources from these experts, right? Or these individuals who may know more about this topic than you do. What's it worth to you, right? What's it worth to you to learn something that's going to change the financial situation of you and your family, right? I'm being rhetorical, but it's a real question, though. What's it worth to you to leave a financial legacy or to create generational wealth, right? Stop putting price tags on those things that are truly priceless. I offer coaching, right? Coaching. I'm busy. I got a lot of stuff. Chance the baby running around, right? He needs my time now. I'm busy. However, though, I want to be able to help as much as possible. But if you want to get together, Coach Curtis at MondayInvestmentGroup.com. That's my email. Send me an email. Let's get together. We're going to talk. We're going to take a quick break here on She Flips, He Flips. When we come back on the other side, we're going to introduce the money man into the conversation, Corey Singleton. We're going to talk about 3 tips for beginning real estate investors. May talk about some impediments that stop individuals from buying property. Corey got his financial money tips. We're going to take a quick break here on She Flips, He Flips. We'll be right back. To the Urban Business Roundtable. I'm Curtis R. Monday. Riding solo, my co-host E.J. Williams, the great E.J. Williams, is at a speaking engagement. Call me at 312-374-8130. 312-374-8130. I want to welcome to the conversation one of our esteemed partners. I'm happy to make this gentleman's acquaintance. He came out to a Urban Business Roundtable relaunch party, and we got enthralled in the conversation. In fact, he didn't know me from Adam, and he actually sponsored the event. We know a common person in common, and that's true. A lot of business is done in relationships, but phenomenal guy. had an idea, a desire to get into real estate investing, took a job at an entry-level position in real estate, and since then has helped thousands get their financial house in order and put them on a path to home ownership and real estate investing. I want to say good morning and welcome to the conversation. A good friend of mine, my man Corey Singleton. Good morning, Corey. How you doing?
Good morning, Monday. I'm well, man. How are you?
I can't complain. Corey, if people want to get your information or reach you about getting financing for their first home or real estate or investment property, where can they reach you?
It's very simple. You can give me a call at 708-580-7006. Again, that's 708-580-7006. Or you can shoot me an email. It's a little longer, but it's csingleton@loandepot.com. That's csingleton@loan, L-O-A-N, Depot, DEPOT.com.
Let's get right into the conversation. Corey, I want to give our listening audience, 3 tips for beginning real estate investors. A lot of times people don't know exactly where to begin and need some guidance. So I'm going to give you 3 tips that's helped me that I want to give you. And if you, feel free to join in if you got any kind of comments or thoughts about the topic. Number 1, I would say find affordable areas to invest in, right? Know the difference between Class A, B, C, and D areas. Now, think school, think grades, A, B, C, D, right? The same thing. A is obviously better than a D. But although it's like a grading system in school, it's also subjective. It can mean different things to different investors, meaning an area that I may consider an A may not necessarily be an A for you as an investor. So you have to come up with your own grading system. But the theory still makes sense. So, for example, Class A locations, right? Class A locations would be an area that has things like the newest buildings, the hottest restaurants, best schools, wealthiest people, high cost of real estate, right? This is truly going to be like the best location, like the very best location you can find with the highest quality tenants who are looking to rent there, right? So, Corey, based on that description, I think of areas like Lincoln Park, Barrington, Illinois,
right?
Maybe even Hyde Park. I can put Hyde Park in that category. When I get that description, what kind of areas come to mind for you?
Yeah, you got all the West Loop, South Loop, River North.
Yeah.
Definitely areas like what you're describing.
Yeah. Now, when you talk about these different classes, it also relates to the type of properties you're going to find in these different areas. So for a Class A property in a Class A area, these properties generally command like the highest rent, but they're also going to provide the lower amount of cash flow because the margins are too small, right? Because of the high demand or easy investment, meaning that because they're in such great areas, it's not a hard rent. You won't make a whole lot of money off of it, but it's still not a hard rent. More demand, means a higher purchase price or a higher cost, lower cash flow, right? Class B, okay? Again, things that help you out. Class B areas, slightly older than the Class A area, but still an area that got like decent restaurants, decent school systems, good people. This might be what you call like your normal middle class area, right? They're going to attract more blue collar workers, but a lot of times they're going to live paycheck to paycheck, which there's nothing wrong with that. Most of us, to some degree, I don't care how much money you got, live in some reality paycheck to paycheck. Corey, when I think about areas like this is what I think about. These Class B areas, middle class, blue collar, paycheck to paycheck. I think of Chatham, Bronzeville, South Shore. Did I leave out anything? Again, subjective. This would be your own
definitely
list.
Subjective, but Peel Hill's a solid area. Peel
Hill's a good one. Peel Hill's a good one. How does lending impact, from going from like a Class A, which is a high volume, high net worth area, newest everything? Is it easier for a person to get lending in an area like that versus maybe like a Class B area?
Not really. It depends on the individual. You know, there's products and programs for whatever level you're on, whether you're a first-time home buyer buying in, a very modest community or those that we named in the Class A. It depends on the individual. Sometimes I have those that make the income that would fit in Class A, but their profile doesn't fit.
Sure.
So it's still a work. We still got to do some work. Got to put together a game plan that they have to execute to be able to purchase in that class.
Got you. Class B buildings located in Class B areas, same concept. These are probably properties that are 15 to 30 years old, mostly upgraded, but perhaps lacking the same kind of shine that a Class A property may have. Rental income is probably going to be lower than what you might find with the Class A property, but the maintenance costs would be likely higher than the Class A because of the age of the actual home. Now, Class C. These things sound more familiar now. Class C. It's a location that has a lower income area with homes. These homes are older, 30 years or more. The area tends to attract people who are either on some kind of government subsidy, i.e. Section 8, or working low-wage jobs. You'll likely find these types of businesses in these areas. Check cashing businesses, pawn shops. These are the examples of business that you will find in the Class C area. Makes me think about the area I bought my first property in, Roseland. Sounds just like on 111th in Michigan where my property is located. There's a submarine place on one corner, a pawn shop on the other, and up the block a petty like right. This is what it is. And so these areas or these properties, again, older, 30 years or more, looks the part, typically going to require numerous repairs. They're going to be needed. Ongoing maintenance should be expected. Systems in the property, such as plumbing and electrical, always need to be tightened up, may be outdated, may require ongoing attention. Properties in this type of area typically rent for a low amount in the area. But the properties will also be much more affordable than Class A or Class B, right? Now, you see, this is one of the properties where you can kind of find your margins. And we look at real estate investing right now in our area, in Chicago, you see a lot of people right now operating in that B, C type area.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Class D property. What's up, Harry Gilliam? Appreciate you, brother. Class D location. Class D locations. This location typically is like a war zone, for lack of a better term. It's a war zone, right? You likely would not want to travel there alone. Even the cops don't really want to go there. They hesitant, right? Every city got one. No shame on it. Chicago's not the only one. I mean, every city got an area like this. So cops are nervous about entering these areas. Crime and drug use, sales run rampant. There are probably numerous buildings with boarded up windows and other indications of being vacant, right? Sounds like Inglewood to me, right? Yeah. They're doing some different things in Inglewood, though, right? But sounds like Inglewood. Now, chances are the properties in the Class D location are uninhabitable, need significant repairs before they can be lived in. They're generally cheap, but getting good tenants in a Class D area are going to be difficult because of everything that's going on around there. Could also be dangerous because you have to kind of ask yourself, it takes a certain kind of temperament, a certain type of tenant that's going to move in that particular area. So you have to be very, very cognizant of what you're doing. So the first thing I would say as a real estate investor, figure out what area you want to buy in and buy in affordable areas. I've made a lot of my purchases, Corey, in B, C areas. South Shore, Roseland are my two primary sweet spots right now. You know, I know that market pretty well. Number two, don't take on too much work, right? You don't want to get into your first project where you got to do a total gut rehab or do, a total overhaul of the mechanicals, foundation issues, some big plumbing or electrical. Right. And I got to imagine as a lender, for an individual coming to the table when you see that scope of work, and for people who don't know what a scope of work is, what's a scope of work for?
So a scope of work is an outline, a detailed outline of the work that needs to be done to bring that property up to par.
Yeah. I got to imagine that when you decide to make a lender decision, and especially if a person's coming to you with little or no experience, again, not saying it's impossible, but you increase your likelihood to be successful if you minimize the number of variables you have coming and going out the box. So don't just get into these properties initially.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just don't have it's not a matter if you can do it or not. It's just a matter you may not have the necessary experience.
And the resources.
To do it. So
it's a great point.
Number 3, last tip, do your homework up front, right? Understand what kind of market you're in. If it's a seller's market, you want to be sure that you make a strong offer, i.e. you may tell a seller, hey, you can close quickly. Cash is always king. If it's a buyer's market, close quickly, buy cash, and you want to try to buy the property at a discount. That's where you get your profit margins from. Instead of buying properties that need a lot of work, try to buy properties dirt cheap, right? A lot of work equals more outside risk. City comes, set you down. Contractor leave you hanging on the job, right? So try to get into properties or projects that are cheap and need minimum work. 4 to 6 weeks, you can get in and out. You get your profit quicker. You may get less profit, but you can get it quicker in those situations. So these are my little tips. We're going to come back. We're going to get into more of the money. We want to pick Corey's brain. Let's take a real quick break. I want to get back and be able to talk to my man Corey Singleton here on C-Flips with Curtis R. Monday and E.J. Williams. Welcome back to C-Flips with your host Curtis R. Monday and E.J. Williams. Call me live in the studio at 312-374-8130. If you want to set up a one-on-one session for business and real estate strategic coaching, send me an email, curtis@mondayinvestmentgroup.com. That's curtis@mondayinvestmentgroup.com. I'm here with one of our preferred partners, the money man himself, Corey Singleton. Corey, where can people find you?
I'm easy to get a hold of. You can call me at 708-580-7006. Again, that's 708-580-7006.
Corey, I want to pick your vast brain. Let's start with one topic. Real estate investing, a good debate we always have. Cash versus credit. Go.
Well, of course, I'm biased being in the financing industry. Cash is king, but credit is power. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying cash is king, but credit is power. What does that mean? You were talking earlier about being able to acquire property at a discount. Oftentimes, cash will help you be able to do that because you can move quickly. If you have your financing in place, so you could move probably just as quick. So there's a balance there. But with credit, you're able to leverage.
Yeah.
That's the word. Leverage is the word, which means my definition of the word leverage is do more with less.
Yeah.
So when you position yourself and you have the credit and you have the profile, I've taken several of my real estate investors. They're partners now. We're in business together. I provide consulting with them. I don't just do their financing deals. It's a total package. They've tripled and quadrupled their business over the past couple of years by implementing some of my principles and strategies when it comes to leveraging and credit.
Sure. You've heard it in business a lot of times. You say use other people's money, right? And so from that perspective, I'm going to give credit the nod all day, every day. When I first started real estate investing, again, my mindset was got a property, got a mortgage, I can get a little bit of money off of it, which is cool. But then I was like, hey, if I could buy a piece of property and I bought it cash, no mortgage, I get the total cash flow, right? I get the total thing. So my immediate thought when I first started real estate investing was like, that's the better deal. $400 a month coming in versus $1,200 a month coming in. $1,200 is a much better option. But I didn't give any thought as to the down payment, the $25,000, $30,000 I put down to acquire that property. Had I taken that same money and maybe used that money and got leveraged, right, and just used a down payment,
right,
I could have taken this one property that had no mortgage and gotten 3 or 4, right, and eventually put myself in a stronger position. So I'm with you. Cash is queen, and you can leverage your cash, right? You can go to a bank and say, hey, you know what, I got $500,000 in the bank or $400,000, whatever the amount is, and use that as leverage to get other additional financing. So I like what you're talking about. Why invest in real estate?
Man, that's such a loaded question. There's so many reasons to invest in real estate. The purpose of you all putting this show together, number one, is generational wealth. It's real. It's called real estate. It's tangible. It's there. The tax benefits that are associated with real estate, the U.S. tax code, it caters to those who invest in real estate. There's multiple ways to make money. You have appreciation. You have depreciation, you have principal pay down, and you have cash flow. You're making money 4 ways when you invest in real estate.
Yeah, it's true. I'd say real estate is important because, again, it's that tangible asset that can be used to pass from one generation to the next. There are more millionaires that live next door to you just because of their real estate or the equity built into those properties. And we got some things we need to fight in respect to the home ownership gap between whites and blacks, which impacts the equity gap, which hurts ultimately our net worth and things of that nature. But still, pound for pound, people need it's like a haircut. People always gonna need a haircut. I don't care what kind of haircut. You need some kind. If you got locks, you're gonna need twist up. You got a ball fed, you're going to need to be touched up. People need a place to live. You know, whether it's Inglewood or Chatham, you need a place to live. ROI. I hear this term a lot. I know what it is. People who are listening may not be familiar with this term, ROI. What's ROI?
So ROI is return on investment. You know, that is a very important number to any business, whether it's real estate or any other business that you have. You want to be aware of your return on investment. Simply put, what do you put in versus what you get out. Now, my take on ROI is slightly different, and I'll explain it. A lot of people, and this actually goes back to support the credit versus cash, preference, because you can do more with less. And when you talk about ROI, generally speaking, how much you put in versus what you get out, that profit margin over what you put in. It's simple math. But I like to look at cash on cash ROI.
Yeah.
And that number is completely different when you look at percentages, because, and this is why you leverage. You kind of alluded to that just a few moments ago. If I can just give this quick example here, being a numbers nerd, you buy an investment property for $100,000 and needs $50,000 worth of work. So you're in now for $150,000. It makes you sell it for $200,000 using very simple numbers. You make $50,000 profit. So you get $50,000 profit for $150,000 investment, right? That's a pretty good return on investment.
Yeah.
You're getting a third return. However, if you use leverage for that property and you're able to get in there with only 10% down of the transaction, now your cash. Now, if you did that with cash, you've invested $150,000 cash to get a $50,000 profit. That's not bad. But you could take that same investment, get those same numbers, and you only come out of pocket now, let's just say with $25,000 worth of cash. And in return, you get $50,000 profit. So you go from a 33% return on investment to a cash-on-cash ROI of 200%.
Yeah, that's a good example. This ROI is an important number, too, especially in the flip realm, right? So a lot of times, people will ask, well, how do you know what's a good flip? And again, it can be very subjective to different people. Like, for example, I got some investors that say, hey, you know what? If I made, 15 G's off a flip, that's considered a good deal for them. EJ is like the queen of the $50,000 flip. She coined that term and is an expert at it. So if it, not to say she wouldn't do anything lower, but $50,000 is probably a good number for her, right? Different strokes for different folks.
Right.
But sometimes you dig a little bit deeper in the numbers. If you when you're doing your analysis, if you had a profit that could give you, let's say $40,000, but the ROI on it was really only like 6%, right? Was it really worth a deal? Was it really worth you actually doing this thing? I know the money looked good on the front end, right, on the back end, right, what you can make, the $40,000 profit. But what it's really saying is that what you had to put in to make this $40,000 profit wasn't enough. So a lot of times, like, I may look at projects and say if the ROI falls in between that 10 to 15% rate of return for me, it's worth me kind of taking a second look at it, and then I'll look at the net profit on it also. But as you develop in real estate investing, you'll understand what these numbers mean and how it looks. What does it take to get started? I know somebody right now, Corey, is like, look, sound great, Curtis. You're talking about, Corey sounds great. You're talking about $200,000. Man, I ain't got $200 in my account. What does it take to get started? Is it really that difficult to get started?
No, it's not difficult to get started. You just have to, as you mentioned earlier, number one, do your homework.
Right.
You get the education. A lot of people jump off into real estate thinking that it's a get rich quick, strategy, and it's not. This is wealth building.
Yeah.
Whether you're flipping, whether you're doing rentals, or you're buying your first property that you're going to live in, you want to approach it the right way. So you do your homework and get your education. Figure out. Secondly, you do an assessment. Where are you? A lot of people. Interesting statistic is 22% of people that want to buy a home are actually in the position to buy right now, and they're not even aware, because all of the misinformation that's out there. Oh, you need a 720 credit score. Oh, you need 20% down. There's so much misinformation. There's people who are literally holding themselves back. They could have bought last year, 2 years ago, because they think that they're not in a position. So number one is to call me and get pre-approved or get pre-qualified. That's an initial assessment to see where you are from a credit standpoint and even from an income and then an asset standpoint. Once we get that snapshot and see where you are, then we can determine, well, if you're not quite in the position to qualify, either from a credit standpoint or you need a little more capital, then we define that. We create that plan or that strategy, and then at that point, Curtis, it becomes a matter of execution.
Now, Corey, you work first-time home buyers?
Yes, sir.
Repeat people who are looking for like that second or third home?
Absolutely.
And what about real estate investors?
We love real estate investors.
Last week, we had Rob Rose, Executive Director of the Cook County Land Bank Authority, on the show. I think the Land Bank is a revolutionary opportunity for the small to medium-sized investor who doesn't have the big equity position, cash position, we can go buy an abundance of properties at the scavenger sale. At the scavenger sale. I also feel that way about a program that you and I are kind of working on, even something I'm doing with one of my deals in respect to being able to buy a piece of property, investment property with little to no money down. Talk to our listener audience briefly about that. I think that's a game changer. That's a big deal.
Absolutely. And it comes down to a couple of things. Credit is important, but experience too. You were talking earlier about your scope of work, not taking on more than you can chew. A first-time home buyer or a first-time investor, it's not as feasible if you're doing $100,000 renovation project for your first deal. Yeah. You need to get something that's moderate, where you can make a good return on investment, but you're not overextending yourself. So we have programs, whether you're a first-time investor rather, or you have a few deals under your belt, where you can get in with as little to no money down, or maybe 20% of the purchase price. And we'll give you all the money to do the rehab, which still, putting things in perspective, is still a low capital investment. Yeah. And you're leveraging what you have. So, we don't want to give the misconception that you don't need credit and you don't need any capital. Even for those seasoned investors such as Curtis, where we can give him money to fully fund his project. Curtis has a great profile, if I may.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
He has the experience and he has the profile that's conducive to this type of financing. So if you're a first-time investor, give me a call. We'll see where you are from those aspects, and then we'll put together the best strategy for you.
That's a game changer. I don't know if you guys fully grasp what he just said. There's a product out there with an opportunity to buy a piece of property, an investment property, with depending upon your profile, experience, credit score, et cetera, with no money down. That's a big deal, or 20% of the purchase price. Now, again, you heard me say my tip, like when you get your first couple of projects, maybe buy something that is affordable in an affordable area, right? So you're trying to buy something that's hopefully at a discount, right? So if you're buying a $30,000 property, 20% of $30,000 is what, $6,000, right? $6,000. You can be Big Cousin's assistants on his camera for $6,000. We can get you $6,000. like we can hug, like you like for real, and then you got time. Like it's not like you need $6,000 at the time you sign the contract. You got, it take a little while to close a deal sometimes. So you can get this money. So this is a big deal. These other companies a lot of time want you to have I know one entity, they want you to have like 20. They care what the purchase price is. Right. I want you to have 15 to 25,000, right? Right. And so especially going through a buy and hold strategy, products like what you're talking about, access to capital like that, that's a big deal. Corey, I know people right now are chomping at the bit. They want to be able to reach you. Tell us what can they reach you?
Yep. Give me a call, 708-580-7006. Again, that number is 708-580-7006. If by chance I don't answer because I'm on live with Curtis our Monday, when he flips, she flips, please leave me a message, and myself or my team will get back with you. We are in the business to creating homeowners and helping investors build their portfolio.
Great information. Corey's going to be around. He's a partner. And so individuals who reach out to myself, EJ, and they need individuals who need assistance with lending, Corey's one of our go-to guys. And next year, as we try to develop programs and different things we're bringing to the community, he's going to play an integral part in this whole process. So, again, great information. has a vast knowledge of the topic and what's going on in real estate investing and a true passion for it. And so somebody called me and said, hey, do you vouch for him? Like somebody called me like, do you? I know I heard him on your show. Yeah, I vouch for him. Yeah, he's a good guy. So that's all, folks. I mean, again, time flies when you're having fun. A great show, another great Saturday. Our esteemed co-host EJ Williams should be back next week. Wishing her and her family a great weekend, and I know that she did really well on her speaking engagement. Thanks to the Silent Assassin, always hanging out with me every Saturday. My man, Big Cousin. TF Studios, Troy Howard, I appreciate you. I got to get out of here. As always, I told you, I don't do this for my first name. I do this for my last name. It's my son's birthday party. He'll be 1 year old on Monday. Chance the baby. I love you. Daddy's on his way. Bye-bye.